What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the DM podcast. My name is Isaiah Weaver, and I have a student next to me, Mr.
Kevin Novea.
And we have a really special guest here with us today, Lauren Evans. Welcome to the DM podcast. Thank you so much for coming and being a guest with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate the invite. I'm really excited. Let's get it.
Absolutely. So we have a couple of things we want to talk to you about. The main part is an upcoming festival that we have in our community, Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's called Juneteenth Festival, the Tulsa
Juneteenth Festival.
But before we get into that, I actually wanted to kind of, how did the relationship start? We became friends through track and field, and then there was an opportunity for us to serve together in planning the Juneteenth Festival here in Tulsa.
Yeah. That was really I think a very divine moment for me. You coming in, really volunteering to help me put on the run. It was something that was new for us. And because there's so many components and so much happening, Juneteenth is a very massive project. It's always good to have people to come in that are just willing to lend a helping hand. So I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. I had an opportunity. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to talk with students over the years about Juneteenth, and there's a variety of understanding when it comes to what Juneteenth is, why do we celebrate it. Most people are still not even aware that it's newly a federal holiday. I think it was either last year or the year before that the president made it a federal holiday, so employers have to essentially give that day off.
Yeah.
And I think Juneteenth is a more fitting celebration for the idea of freedom, liberation, when it comes to Juneteenth and Black people.
Absolutely.
Could you give me a little bit of understanding of how do you understand Juneteenth and why do you celebrate it?
Yeah, so I really found out about Juneteenth when I lived in Texas. So for a short period of time, I think maybe my 7th and 8th grade year, my mom had moved to Texas, and it was a bigger thing in Texas because it basically it represents the abolishment of slavery. And so Texas was like one of the last places that heard about them being free. And so they really celebrated it big in Texas. And so Tulsa, kind of growing up here in Tulsa, we had Juneteenth festivals. I can remember being young and going out to the festival and just hanging out. It was really like a hangout for when you were, a teenager. And so like every year it was something to look forward to. It was a celebration of our Black community and the freedom and being able to live and move free. And I think the significance of that in Tulsa is a even greater just in the commemoration of the 1921 race massacre. And that's where we host, this Juneteenth festival. And so it serves as a place of celebration in a lot of the freedom of being able to continue after something like the massacre.
How was Juneteenth when it first was being celebrated in Tulsa?
Yeah, so I think that it was probably celebrated probably before my time. I think they did a celebration here. I was probably a teenager when I kind of started seeing the celebrations, and a lot of it revolved around music and entertainment. It was, I guess, the definition of celebration in that, like, they just threw a big concert and everybody went out with their lawn chairs and with their families and picnic blankets, and there were vendors and things of that nature. And so I think it was more so revolved around just a music culture. In Tulsa, there are a lot of great artists and musicians that are coming out of Tulsa. And back then, I think it was more revolving around jazz. They used to have like a big big jazz concert. And of course, like as a teenager, I wasn't really into jazz. And so we would just kind of hang the streets and things like that and just, mingle with the people in the community. I really think it was just a great experience to be able to bring majority of the Black community into one space and have a celebration together.
You had mentioned that kind of your introduction to the Juneteenth celebration originated with your time in Texas with your mom, and then it was being celebrated here in Tulsa. How did you actually kind of get the mantle of becoming the chair lady or the leader over planning the event each year?
Yeah. So probably this is the 10th year for the Tulsa Juneteenth Festival. And at the time that we started, there wasn't really a large celebration happening for Juneteenth. My mother, she was the executive director for Black Chamber of Commerce in Tulsa, and she felt the need to bring it back. She was like, hey, I think she remembered, like this was a celebration that was huge. It was big. It was, it brought people into Tulsa. And so she wanted to recreate that and bring that back. And so we started really small. It was a really small thing. And just out of association of being her daughter, I became involved. And so I would help her with the planning of it. And sometimes it wasn't even the planning portion. It was just, hey, come in and work on the festival days and kind of help with logistics, things like that. And then just year after year it grew, and I just continued to be a part of it under her. And then almost 2 years ago now, she passed away, and I took that mantle. I think just working within the organization and doing the event every year, I was set up to be in position to take that on, and so it was an easy decision. It was definitely a different career move for me.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm a track coach, and I've been in athletic administration and higher education, and I thought that was, where I'd be. But I really felt the need to continue this for our community. It's a community event, and they look forward to it. And so I look forward to doing that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you again for spearheading that and taking on the mantle, because putting on one of the largest Juneteenth celebrations in the nation is not an easy feat. It takes a lot of people. It takes a ridiculous amount of money. It takes a lot of communication and coordination of countless entities. How do you pull it off every year?
I think one key thing is organization. I am trying to be increasingly organized, and there are so many different compartments. And so I try to compartmentalize it in the best way that I can so that everything is kept where it's supposed to be and listed out. And so I'm really detailed in like my to-do list and notes and things like that. But I also think it takes a lot of discipline, a lot of the work that because we don't have like a full working staff, a lot of the work I have to do on my own. Wow. And it takes a lot of discipline to really get up every day. Like no one calls me and says, get up and go to work. And, or read those emails or respond to those people and so it takes a lot of discipline. I think I learned that as an athlete and as a coach, just how discipline works over all aspects of your life. And so I use that discipline to keep going because sometimes it does get difficult. I think just the mere fact that I've taken over my mother's work, sometimes although I found a lot of purpose in putting this festival on and continuing her legacy and the legacy of the Tulsa Juneteenth Festival. But that's a difficult task, you know. I constantly think about her and see her in the work that I'm doing, and people do too, you know, like people know her. She was a community advocate, you know. I'm just working in the community. I've become a community leader, but she was a community advocate in all the work that she did. So following up in those footsteps sometimes can be challenging, sometimes can be intimidating, but I also think it's my relationship with God. You know, my foundation is in Christ, and that's how I grew up. Both of my parents were preachers' kids, and so both of my grandfathers were pastors. And so regardless of, you know, where I've been in life and the things that have happened, that's my anchor. And so I think, you know, that holds me and keeps me together more than anything.
I love that. The whole piece of Christ being your anchor. And yeah, when I think that from what I hear, that's like the biggest piece, like Christ being your anchor. When you feel like there's a whole bunch on your plate and it's overwhelming in a myriad of ways. Also, I just want to say your mother's name, Sherry Gamble Smith. Thank you for passing on such a beautiful legacy, and thank you for picking up your mom's legacy. Families are blessed because of it, and she was a beautiful woman, beautiful legacy to leave behind. So thank you for giving her space here and remembering her with us.
You did say that what Juneteenth in Tulsa has been going on for around like 10 years now, right?
Yeah, this is the 10th year for us.
Okay. So in the very beginning or whatnot, you said that it started off kind of small. So over the years, how has Juneteenth grew in Tulsa, and how has it looked over the years also?
Yeah. So we kind of started out in just having like a small celebration with a couple of artists. We had like a smaller stage and like a few vendors. And I think the more that people heard about it, we started to get more interest in people performing, you know, like artists in Tulsa, people that had businesses, right? They started to want to get involved. And then we just started to kind of outgrow that smaller space into a larger space. But also one of the really important components about the Juneteenth Festival is that we want to provide resources for the community in whatever way that we can. So we've added a lot of components. Every year we try to add at least one component. I think now we've gotten to the place where there's so many components that we just try to stay away from adding things, but really trying to have something available for everyone. So I think we started out with adding an art gallery, and then another year we added a wellness component, and then the next year we added a 5K, and then the next year we added a home buyers initiative, and then we added a Black Wall Street pitch competition, which is a small business competition where people with small businesses come and they give us information and tell us about their business and win capital, win money for their businesses. So each year we try to add a component that broadens our reach, in that we can reach everybody and there's something for everybody who attends.
Oh, okay.
I love that there's something new each year, and especially the entrepreneurial piece. I think there's so many dreams and visions that God has placed on the inside of people, specifically here in North Tulsa, but there's not necessarily the resource or the next step. It's just kind of like a dream, and they may have started something in their kitchen, and they may have started something out of their garage. But then having this component where, yes, we're celebrating freedom and liberation for Black people, but by actually providing an opportunity for upward mobility, providing an opportunity to grow or make a dream come true, or to help a dream take its next step, I think is another level of celebration. Because I mean, I love a good concert, right? Yeah. But at the end of that concert, that experience is done. When you have something like the pitch competition with all of the businesses, that's something that can last for generations. And so I think that is the piece that for me as a Tulsan that really pulled me in. The whole wellness component about helping people learn about their bodies and take care of their bodies and have resources to manage their health in a safe way, I think is, again, a whole nother level or a whole nother way to celebrate freedom and liberation. So it's not just I would say the low hanging fruit. Oh, we can do a concert, we can do food, but we can also help the community grow in this same space.
Absolutely.
So that's really beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, we have a full schedule of events. So one thing that we did add this year is a fashion show. And so we try to showcase artistry in Tulsa, in Oklahoma. This year, our theme is "This is Oklahoma." So what we're trying to do is really just showcase all Oklahoma talent, whether you're a painter or a photographer or a rapper or a singer, or and so fashion was a space in which we hadn't really gotten into. That was a market that hadn't been tapped into by us, and so we're adding that. So we'll have a fashion show actually the week before the Juneteenth weekend that the rest of the celebration will happen. But yeah, we have our wellness component. I think that's one thing that's really big to highlight, all of the things that we have going on for wellness. And so in addition to our 5K and mile run, we have a series of courses, so different Zumba classes, yoga, meditation, those types of things. But this year we really wanted to kind of incorporate the whole family. And so we are incorporating our Kids Zone area with wellness in having a family field day. And so we really want to focus on the family activities and families being able to come together and have activities with their children. And so that's one of the really big components. And outside of that, we actually are partnering this year with several different organizations to provide some different opportunities and experiences for Juneteenth. And so one of those is with Justice for Greenwood. And so what they are doing is they're having a genealogy event in where you could go and learn your heritage, they'll walk you through the steps and finding out where you come from and if you have lineage to the 1921 race massacre. And so that's one of the big events that'll be happening this year.
Said a lot. How Mr. Weaver said how, people can put their talents out there in Juneteenth, and also how it really cares about its community and takes care of them or whatnot. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
In addition to spearheading this huge celebration that our city gets to enjoy on an annual basis, at home you're a mom. You have two beautiful boys. What does this festival mean as a mom, and what do you hope specifically that your boys see, learn, or experience through the festival?
I think there's a couple things. I think one is unity and culture. I think Juneteenth, it sets the stage. It's like a huge family reunion. And so it really shows how culture can come together in unity and celebrate with one another and do things for the community that advances us and that keeps us ahead. Like we come from a space of backset. I think the 1921 race massacre was a setback for our community as a whole. And for years and years and years, it's over 100 years now, we've been fighting for rights and fighting for reparations and really fighting for our ground, And so I really think that Juneteenth, it acts as a host for that unity to happen.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the really exciting things that I feel like my children will see, in addition to really just humility. I think being in this position takes a lot of humility, and I really want them to see that it's not always about us and what we want and how we feel and what we need, but that there's always a bigger call. There's always a bigger picture. And to be able to see the bigger picture and render yourself to that in ways so that, you know, the overall goal is accomplished.
Is there like just a specific type of food there, or is it, you know, food from different cultures?
No, you know what? We've actually kind of been broadening our palette in terms of the food trucks.
Yes,
so,
broad palette.
man, we used to have like all barbecue trucks. It was like 6 barbecue trucks, and maybe, you know, somebody was doing fish and chicken. But we've expanded. We have we had a vegan truck. We had Inheritance, a juicery. The past couple years, we've had 2 Mexican trucks, and so they had all kinds of Mexican food. We had a Cajun, kind of like a Cajun truck. So there is an array of different, we get so many different people. Even people are now coming in from other states that want to be a part and, you know, show us different foods. And so that's one really big thing, is that we try to go out and find other food trucks and different kinds of food, and give an opportunity for other people versus like kind of the regulars to have the opportunity to come and celebrate with us and experience what we're doing. We, on our website, tulsajuneteenth.org, that's where kind of you can find all of our stuff. But there is a vendor tab, and you click on that vendor tab, and there's an application that you fill out. And once we get that application, we review all the applications so that we don't have so many trucks that are doing the same things. But yes, we probably have at least maybe 7 spaces available left for food trucks.
Okay.
And then we have non-food vendors. They are just vendors that are selling other products. And so I think we still definitely have space there. And then we also have our service vending. And so our service vending is basically for businesses that are not selling anything, not selling any products, but maybe just handing out information, pamphlets, those types of things. We do have those opportunities also, and they're all listed there on the website.
So there's so many small, community-oriented, people-minded ideations that are happening with the festival. But the festival also has some larger components, and I'm particularly excited about who the headliners are this year. Could you share who we have as headliners this year?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Also, I think it's that 80s babies group it might be just us, and then maybe a little older, but we have Kiki Wyatt coming. She'll headline on Friday, and she's just a phenomenal songstress. You know, like the vocals are crazy. I always say, like, I wish I could sing. If I could sing, could nobody tell me nothing. I would not be doing this podcast if I could sing.
Kiki Wyatt holds a special place in my heart, specifically because the very first time I had a slow dance with a girl at homecoming, it was a Kiki Wyatt and a Bond song. My First Love.
Hey, that song.
Listen, it still plays rent free in my mind. Just a little bit. But yeah, big Kiki Wyatt fan.
I love Kiki. I can't believe Kiki got all them kids.
Listen here.
She got like 11 children. I can't keep up with the 2 I have.
I guess that's what she wanted.
Come on. I love her, though.
Yes.
How you still out here doing shows with these children?
You doing the shows because you have the children.
Come on.
Amen. We got to provide for them.
Amen. But yes, we also have an older 80s group also. They're called H-Town.
Come on,
you didn't even know about H-Town, did you?
I know about H-Town.
You didn't know they were coming?
I didn't.
Coming.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll have H-Town on Saturday. And then we'll have Tamar Braxton on Saturday as well.
Yes, Isaiah Weaver is also a Tamartian.
How about I didn't even know that a Tamartian was a thing. Like until we posted about Tamar Braxton coming, I did not know that her fans were
Tamartians.
I did not know.
Her music is
she's a great singer also. So I'm really excited about the vocalists that we have this year. And I feel like we haven't had a lot of women. Not headliners lately. Most of them are like male groups, like older male groups. I think the last female artist that we had was Sheila E. several years ago, and she was amazing.
Come on,
she was so good. But I was like, where are the women at? We're gonna have to get some women here, and so I'm really excited. I'm really excited.
The R&B for me. It is the I can feel the vibe already. I'm trying to figure out what my outfit is gonna be.
Come on,
because I'm gonna have a different outfit every night.
Come on,
and I will be prepared.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it will be. Lauren, thank you.
Of course.
So much for being a guest on our show and for telling us a little bit about your story and talking about Juneteenth with us.
Yes, and kudos to you guys. This is absolutely amazing. I know in the time of podcast, like this is something that a lot of people are doing, but you guys' setup is amazing. I really appreciate that this is happening in school, I think one thing is sometimes we don't see the opportunity to tap into markets until we're out of school, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's really great that there are things that are happening, especially in the social media space, that we are actually incorporating in schools here. And so this is kudos to you. This is awesome.
Thank you. So since you went into that just a little bit, I actually wanted to share that this actually is a speech class. So we started as speech and debate, and it evolved into solely a speech class. But as a teacher, you have to figure out what are the carrots and sticks that you need to use to help your students get from one place in knowledge and ability to another.
Absolutely.
And I saw this podcasting as a vehicle to teach the principles of speech and debate and communication and planning. There's so many secondary and tertiary skills that they're picking up and they don't even realize it. I'm like, it's a win. It's a win for me. So again, thanks for being a part of the podcast. My name is Isaiah Weaver.
Kevin Novell.
And this is the DN Podcast. Roll my theme music.